Welcome, viewers. I'm Braulio Rosa, Executive Director of the Broward County Bar Association, and I'm thrilled to have my friend Jeff Muchnick here, attorney, owner, operator of Cash Now Funding Group, Broward County Bar Association's exclusive funding company. Jeff, welcome.
Thanks for having me, man. Been too long, so happy to be here.
Yeah, it's been a while, and other than you showing me up on the golf course that one time, it's been a while because of COVID. Yeah, definitely. So, well, talking about COVID, tell us a little bit how that's impacted your company. It's definitely impacted all of us.
Sure. So if you don't know, Cash Now Funding Group is a pre-settlement legal funding company. We're providing cash advance services to plaintiffs during the pendency of their litigation, sometimes to lawyers who need, money for costs, sometimes to medical providers who don't take health, or if a client doesn't have a deductible for a coverable insurance procedure, all different verticals within the funding space. But the original question was, how did COVID affect us? It was pretty drastic as far as the effect on our industry in general. Both the legal and legal finance space. So as everyone knows, the courthouse pretty much closed, grinded to a halt, and many people's cases slowed down for a number of reasons. For a while, people weren't in their offices at all. B, there wasn't any actual courthouse activity at some points until they reopened. And so you couldn't actually, get anything to move forward. And then you have some external factors such as, insurance companies weren't very motivated to pay claims at this point in time because, they're not ultimately being punished for these delays monetarily. And so if they can hold on to XYZ dollars for a longer period of time and earn interest and leverage with it, well, then they actually make more money as a company. So the insurance companies didn't really have much motivation to settle cases. The court system didn't really have a mechanism to continue to push cases forward, and a lot of infrastructure was not ready for this, remote servers, remote workers, remote depositions, remote hearings, remote trials even. So there was like a pretty much a 1 to 1.5 year gap in most people's cases. Even at some point, they stopped medical treatment to only necessary procedures. So if you had a fusion scheduled and it wasn't deemed necessary, or if you had a knee scope, hospitals only had a limited, capacity. So at that point in time, like unless you had a heart attack or a stroke, you weren't going to be in the OR. So like a lot of people's even procedures got pushed back, months and months. So what this did was elongate people's cases. And a lot of that created a demand for borrowing against that, because generally, in a situation where you already were strapped for money and you would be part of the demographic that might use our services, I think the window of people that ultimately needed to utilize our services got much larger, which sounds like a great thing. And it was. It created a tremendous demand for cash advances in our space. But on the other side of things, from the business standpoint, it created a tremendous cash flow issue for businesses like ours, because Cash Now doesn't get paid until you get paid, because we get paid back when your case settles, or when you collect your jury verdict, or whatever the end resolution of your case is, and not until then. And it's a non-recourse advance. So ultimately, we're sitting here waiting for you to have your day in which you get money. And because of all the reasons that I mentioned, that day took, an extra 1.5 or 2.5 years. And from a cash flow perspective, when the demand for the money going out is increasing and the supply of that cash coming in from previous advances, pre-COVID, is decreasing, creates, from a business standpoint, a cash flow issue. And so we needed to, restructure, and we needed to reorganize our capital relationships. And we were able to do it all, get through it all, where we grew, during the entire pandemic, and we continue to grow. We do business with about 750 different law firms now. So, it's a sizable business. And I don't want to say it wasn't without a ton of stress, though, because the pandemic absolutely, kind of pulled the rug from us, just like everybody else. And and we adapted in real time, and my team stuck with it. And luckily, our entire staff works from home. I think there's 22 people that work here now, and everyone already worked from home. So unlike other businesses, we didn't have to scramble to set up everybody remotely. We were able to kind of continue as normal from our own homes. And I think that kind of gave us a little bit of a competitive advantage when it all happened.
Yeah, that cash flow is kind of loosening up now or returning back to the business.
So to some extent, it's starting to. The issue is that the trial docket, I think it just opened in September in most places. A little bit later in New York and California, and but here specifically, they've been doing trials, at a medium pace probably since September. Um, the issue is that all of the trials that were set for the period that got continued when the courthouse closed are the ones with priority now. So you have an extreme backlog of an already overwhelmed docket, which is now giving priority to those who were already set and were continued. And so the majority of stuff is still pretty backed up. And from a cash flow perspective, I would imagine it'll take a good 2 to 3 years more to get to a place in which, as if the pandemic cash flow wise didn't really exist any longer.
So, what should attorneys and their clients be aware of or thinking about if they're considering doing business with you?
Sure. So I would just, talk to your lawyer mainly about the realistic timeframes for what a case looks like. The pre-suit track of a case, if you settle it without having to file a lawsuit, is somewhat unaffected. You get injured, you go through your course of treatment, you get finalized, your lawyer negotiates a settlement for you. That aspect of cases really hasn't changed all too much. But when your case ultimately doesn't settle, to have a real conversation about, the timeline involved to get to an actual jury trial. Because I think, it's probably a 6 to 12 month longer process now. So if it took a year before, it might take closer to 2 years now.
Wow. Yeah. But you guys are ready to serve. Your team's on it, right?
We're out there and ready and serving.
Awesome. Yeah. So any other thoughts before we sign off here that you'd like to convey to attorneys or clients or potential people that you could help?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, happy holidays to everybody and happy New Year's. To all the people that, have trusted us with their business. Thank you very much. I wanted to thank you and the Broward County Bar specifically for, giving us, such a solid endorsement over the years. And, we're proud to have the sponsorship level and the activity with the Broward County Bar. And to the lawyers that we don't yet work with, and to the clients that we don't yet service, we're really all about the relationship. For us, the individual transaction, what we make on it, doesn't really matter that much. We're very cognizant of the fact that lawyers generally don't make career changes. So usually when you're a lawyer for 35 or 45 years until you save up enough money or don't want to practice law anymore. And so we're trying to build those relationships so that you never have to look to another funding company for the service. And so you'll never really get a situation where, we overfunded and won't take a reduction, or something that we aren't willing to do to make sure that, we do whatever's necessary in the particular case to make sure that you're able to either settle your case or not have to try your case or get your client to sign a disbursement statement, whatever that entails. We're here to do the right thing because we want to preserve the relationship, and the individual interaction on that particular case doesn't really matter all too much to us.
Jeff, how can someone get a hold of you, attorneys or potential clients?
Sure. So potential clients can call in at 844-677-CASH, or they can go to our website at getsomecashnow.com. For lawyers that want to speak to us, you can also call 844-677-CASH, but there's a prompt for attorneys. Or you can call my office, and if you say you're a lawyer and you ask for my cell phone, they'll kindly give you my cell phone. So you're welcome to, call me, text me. And if you'd like to email me, it's underwriter@getsomecashnow.com. So for lawyers that would like to email me, because that's, a lot of people's preferred method, underwriter, no S, @getsomecashnow.com.
Awesome, Jeff. I know you're super busy, so thanks for taking your time and hanging out with me, and happy holidays to you and your family.
Thanks, buddy. I hope to get you out on the course again sometime soon.
Definitely. All right. Take care, Jeff.
All right. Thanks.